Hello everyone, welcome back to Mithun Thadi IIB tutorials. So we are going to look into string manipulation functions of ESQL today. I'm going to cover starts with, ends with and contains functions of string manipulations in this video because these three are having a very similar syntax. The syntax goes like this for three of them. The function name, which is either starts with, ends with or contains, and then the source string, and then the search string. So starts with manipulation function syntax is starts with the source expression and the search expression. The source expression and the search expression, here are the different values for which how the results will be for the starts with function. So as it is self-defined, the starts with name. So what it does is like it expects the source expression to start with the search expression. So that's what happens here in the example. Also you can see, so the starts with the source expression and the search expression. When the search expression is like the source expression starts with the search expression, then it returns a true value. Here you can see the input source expression is input value and the search expression is INP. That's why as the source expression starts with search expression, the result value is true. And if the source expression does not start with search expression, okay, then the result is false. Okay, there is another result which is called null. Whenever the source expression or the search expression is issued as null, then the result will be null. Okay, even if the source expression or the search expression, any one of them is null, then the result is null. Okay, so you can say this like why would we give a null? If you are familiar with variables and taking value from inputs, sometimes the input values might come as null. So whenever we fetch values from input, we might get null values for the source expression. Even for the search expression also, we might get them from database to compare with the input message value. In those cases, either of these combinations might occur and the result will be null. Okay, first starts with, I'm going to show the implementation at the end of the video. Let me also explain the ends with and contains functions. So the ends with, I have told you earlier that the syntax for the all three ends with, starts with and contains functions is same. So the syntax goes like this: ends with the source expression and the search expression. So here is the table that I have prepared for ends with. Also for ends with, as the name is self-defined, you can see that it expects the source expression to end with the search expression. You can see it here. If the source expression ends with the search expression, we will get the result as true. And the issuing of command is given like this way. You can put a variable here instead of value directly. You must give single quotes only. I think everybody knows this. And whenever the source expression does not end with the search expression, we will get false as result. And similar to this also starts with, if either of the expressions is null, the source expression or the search expression is null, then we are going to get result as null. Okay, without wasting time, let's go with contains also. Because so for the contains also, the syntax is same, and as it is self-defined, if the source expression contains the search expression, then it will result as true, otherwise it will return false. So you can see here for input value, val does contain in the source expression, so we got true as result, but test is not present in the source expression, that is source expression does not contain the search expression, hence the result as false has been returned as false. And similar to the starts with and ends with, we can see that if either of the values, either the source expression or the search expression is null, then the result is null. Okay, let us go to IIB now and create a new, I have already created a message flow, but I have not defined any nodes yet. Let's go with okay, so we are going to look into this, the compute node, where we are going to write the SQL code. This is for exception and this is for the output. So what I'm going to do is, whenever the result is true, I'm going to set that output to the respective input, set that input to the respective output, and that will be seen in the output message. Okay, so I have already created 3 queues for this purpose. Let me start this. So once it's started, we can do it. Meanwhile, we can go and okay, that is in.q, and here it is exp.q and out.q. So especially for our task, okay, so this is not connected to database anymore, so we are going to use only the ESQL code. Okay, and one more thing, I'm going to give an XML input. So as I told you in the previous video how to give an XML input, so I have to set the XML parser, so that is done. So here let's remove this part, we don't need this anymore. Okay, let's declare input. Okay, and one more thing I forgot to specify is this particular these three. Okay, what are these three? Starts with, ends with, and contains. These three functions will work only on 3 data types. Okay, the data types are blob, bit, and character. Remember this, we can only use these 3 functions on blob, bit, and char data types. Okay, blob, bit, and char data types. Okay, let's go and utilize the same here. So I'm using a character. I'm accessing input root dot xml nsc dot in data. So this is the input from which we are going to get the input value. So let's implement 3 functions at the same time and check how it will work. Okay, so let's go with starts with code part. Okay, so if we need something called result, declare result boolean. Okay, don't initiate it. If the result value is true, then, so if anybody doesn't know how to use if, you can see it here. Let's have to close. Okay, if the result value is true, then I'm going to set out root dot xml nsc dot okay, these are let's see, out dot start, can say it as out data dot start equals input root. We can directly set the value. Okay, so we have to set the result also. set result equals, now we will use the starts with path. Starts with, the source expression is the input. We are taking the variable. Remember this, if we pass any null data, it will return as null. So returning null for result. Let's see what will happen. Okay, and now what will happen? Okay, input, and what we have used, INP. Okay, so this is what the starts code, and similarly let's go and write the same code for ends with. Okay, so for ends with we are going to put it as, so what we have given here, anyhow it doesn't matter, we can give anything, it's value. Okay, okay, so similarly we can give here and contains, so let's put it as data. Okay, so depending upon our input, we are going to set the values for output data, out data, that is start, end, and contain. Okay, so here contains, so we are going, let's see the happy path first and then we can see the remaining paths. Let me start this. Let's start it. Yeah, let me clear the queues if any. Okay, so I have the queues. Okay, this is running, so let's deploy the code. IIB string manipulation functions, I did not save it. Okay, yeah, it's deployed. Let us check. Okay, we did not put the breakpoints, man. Okay, let's add breakpoints and redeploy once again. Checking in queue, exception queue, out queue, this is there, passing is there. Okay, let's deploy. Okay, good. Let's place the message in the in queue. So it is actually in data. Okay, input data value. Okay, so let us check the code if what we have given, it's the data, small data. Okay, so 3 of them that should go perfectly. Shit, I did not debug. If it have worked fine, we must get it in the output actually. Yeah, we got it in the output. I will show the debug also. So the out data will be like this because all the 3 of them will be set right. The contain part. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, input data value. Okay, let's copy this. Okay, yeah, we are in. Let's go into the code. So the result is null, but the input has been the input data value that we have sent, it's set, so the result is not yet initiated. So yeah, we got the result as true for starts with because the input does start with INP, and it will go into the code. It set the start and ends with function. The input does end with LUE, so it must be true again. So it was true, but here we are setting it again, so it will change. It has to change depending upon the value here. I'll show that also in the next run. So it's set to true again, so we are in data has been set. And for contains also, the input does contain data here, so yeah, it is set to true and we will get the result perfectly. Okay, so this is the output. I'll show you the output also. Yeah, so the out data has been set as start and content. So this is the happy path where the starts with function and contain will return true because I have satisfied all the conditions through the input message. Now let's go and put some other input to test the remaining. Okay, so let's the starts with condition, let's satisfy it. For the contains, we doesn't satisfy it again. Input only, let's put it like that, input test. Okay, so this is a condition where it's not null again. Okay, this is a false condition for 3 of them. They must return false. Okay, no, for 2 of them. So the result is not yet set, and then the result will be true because input test dot, so the input is input test and it contains INP. It's being set and then ends with input LUE. It does not end with LUE, so it must be false. It is false, you can see it is false, and so it won't set. And again input data, so input test does not contain data, so it is false again. It's set to false, so it's done. Okay, let's see the message output. So here the output is only start, so only start is where it is true, that's why it's being set. Okay, let's do the third run where I'm going to show you the null property, how it will work. Let us see. I did not even test it. Okay, test message. Okay, the input value should be null, so there is nothing called in data. Okay, nothing in data, so what will be set? See, nothing in data. I'm placing the message, we got it. So let's see. So input has nothing, so what will be the result? Result has been set to false. Maybe we should not even give the in data. Okay, let us see. So everything will be false here, I know that part. Okay, so let's place a message. A something which does not even have in data. So maybe even if it sets the null value, see, I did it, we got it. The result has been set to null. You can see it here. Even in the next step, see, result has been set to null because the input is itself is null now. So yeah, so I wanted to show this part. Input is null, so there won't be nothing set and there will be nothing returned. Okay, so this is done. So we got all the messages. We can see that for all the inputs we will get only 2 of them. The for remaining 3, I mean the first one was not in debug actually. The remaining last 2 we have set either the null value or it is false. That's the reason. Okay, so we have already seen that part. So we have checked everything for all these functions. Thanks to everyone. Please post your queries in the comment section. I have added everything which is required in the description. Let's meet in another